Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to welcome you guys back to my channel. I was kind of wanting to wait until a few more people came into the room. Um, First off, I want to say that the opinions in this video are just that. They're my opinions. Um, Everything in my videos are alleged. I don't claim to be a doctor, but I do know a little something about stress. I think we all suffer from it. And I want to kind of give you guys some input as to how I deal with my stress and some things that might be helpful for you. Um, Again, I'm not a doctor. I strongly advise you that if you're going through anything, to make sure that you see your doctor. Um, so I also, give me just a minute here. Okay. I want to check something out here real quick. Okay. Okay. I also want to say that I do have this new cool super chat feature that's now enabled on my live videos. So if you guys want to support the channel, consider sending a super chat. If not, that's cool too. But I want to get onto this video because, like I was saying, a lot of people suffer from stress and anxiety. So I want to go over a few things that I think could help you. I believe that over this past year, when all this stuff was going on, God has used this time because we've been so wrapped up in just everyday life that we just needed this intervention, because that's how I see it. I see this as an intervention from God to kind of shut us up and separate us from each other so we could go back to how it used to be when we had time for Him. I think during this time, a lot of us, a little bit of stress is okay. It's healthy, it's normal, but I think a lot of us have that kind of stress where it's not normal, it's not healthy, and anxiety as well. And I think that, with the everyday hustle and bustle of life, we're here running there, everywhere. And we absolutely, I think we needed this time to kind of just take a deep breath, focus, and start really slowing down a little bit, learning how to slow down. So I want to go over some of the things that might help you. Stress and anxiety are common experiences for most people. There's something like 65, 70% of people, adults in the United States, have and suffer from some kind of stress or anxiety on a daily basis. So I want to go over a few things that might help you, a few things that, have helped me. And the first thing I want to say is, and this is the most important thing, okay? So I'm going to say this thing first. The first thing is you got to let go and let God. And let me repeat, let go and let God. Now, that is one of the hardest things that you're going to have to do. for me, like if you're a controlling person and you have to control everything in your environment, everything around you, it's hard to give up that control. But sometimes we need to let go of things we can't control and give it over to God. But even doing that takes a tremendous amount of trust and faith on our parts. We stop trusting. We if if you stop trusting God, he wants you to trust him enough that if you're going to hand him over everything that's on your plate, that comes with trust, courage, and faith. He wants you to hand over to him all of your worries, your stress, your pain. But what comes with that is you have to trust in him, have enough faith in him that he's got you. And then you have to have enough trust, courage, and faith to walk away from those worries. And that's the tough part. That means you have to put them out of your mind completely. That means don't dwell on it. Walk away from it. That don't mean you don't still have to put in the work that it takes to change your circumstances or try to relieve that stress. But whatever it is that's stressing you out, don't dwell on it. Once you hand it to God, don't dwell on it. He don't want you to, hey Space, how are you? He don't want you dwelling on it. So what does that tell God if you hand over your worries to him and then you keep dwelling on it? It tells him that you don't trust him to handle it and don't have faith in him. That's what it's saying. Trusting and believing is having faith. You still need to do your part, but you're not to dwell on anything that you've already handed over to God. And believe me, Satan will keep sneaking those thoughts in your head, but you have to rebuke that in the name of Jesus, and then just, then keep your hands if you keep your hands and your mind busy, then you're not dwelling on things. Another good thing that's good to do, and a lot of us, like especially myself, where we've been like locked up in the house for so long, we stopped. I mean, it's like we thought, okay, here we get free time now, so I'm gonna like catch up on some movies. I'm gonna kind of like lay around, but you need to get out and get some exercise. Exercise is one of the most important you can do to combat stress. Other than the first thing that I said, let go, let God. So if you're exercising, you're actually building up your metabolism. And you get more energy. So if you're feeling sluggish and you're feeling down and you don't feel like doing anything, that's when you need to push yourself to get out more and exercise more, because it helps. So the benefits are stronger when you do exercise regular, because people who exercise are less likely to experience anxiety. Stress hormones. Exercise lowers your body's stress hormones. Sleep patterns. You're going to sleep better if you're exercising. You're going to feel more confident in yourself. Let's see, what's the next thing? The next thing I can say is to take some kind of a supplement, whether it's like an omega-3 or drinking, I don't know, a lot of people don't like this, but green tea with lemon, hot tea, that's really good because it contains antioxidants, which has so many health benefits. It lowers stress. and anxiety by increasing a serotonin. It increases your serotonin levels. Okay. And then, a candle. If you light a candle and just, um, or using some kind of essential oils, and just turning off all the lights, and just sitting there and relaxing, just relax, or take a hot bath with a candle. That really helps. Reducing your caffeine intake. Now, caffeine has a lot of, it's not healthy for you. I mean, it has a lot of sugar in it, and high doses of caffeine can actually increase your anxiety. It gives you the jitters, Well, a lot of people it does. Some people it doesn't. Have a journal. If you sometimes just sitting there, and I've done this, if you sit and just write how you're feeling, what I've done is I have a journal that I write to, that it's called my journal to God, and I write letters, like it's like writing a letter to God, and I tell him how I feel. I tell him everything in my journal. That helps. I read, it says chewing gum. I read that, but I think that could help. Spending time with friends and family. Now, that's one thing we haven't been able to do over this past year, and I think that's caused a lot of depression in a lot of people. Laughing is another big thing, because even if you have to force yourself to laugh, like sit there and just laugh over, even if you're by yourself, laugh as hard as you can. Because it's hard to feel anxious when you're laughing. It's good for your health, and there are a few ways it can relieve stress. Relieving your stress response, relieving tension by relaxing your muscles. It takes a lot more energy to cry and feel those emotions than it does just to sit and laugh, let go. Another this is number 10, you guys. And this is a big one too. You got to learn how to say no. That is hard. Learning how to say no, you will feel so much better. You cannot always be a yes person. Not all stressors are within your control, but some are. Take control over the parts of your life that you can change and are causing you stress. Number 11, learn to avoid procrastination. This is important because you need to, you're going to be less stressed out if you're staying on top of your priorities and you stop procrastinating. Work on the things that need to get done today and give yourself a lot of uninterrupted time, as switching between tasks and multitasking, that can be stressful itself. Now, this is one that I'm not a believer in yoga. A lot of people do this yoga stuff, but I'm not too familiar with it. But I think if you just sit and stretch, like do stretches, like long stretches, and you're going to notice how much stress you relieve just by doing that. It's going to enhance your mood, and can be just as effective as any antidepressant drug. But then again, if you need to see a doc, it's always important to see a doctor, to rule out that you don't need medication, because you never know. You need to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness describes practices that anchor you to present moment. It can help combat the anxiety-inducing effects of negative thinking. So that's kind of like trying to learn how to reprogram your mind into positive thinking. If you're always thinking positive and you're keeping other thoughts out, then you're always going to, but it takes practice. You have to always think positive thinking. If something bad happens, always try to see the positive in it. And that's hard to do, but if you can do that successfully, then that's huge. That's a big step. Another thing is showing affection, cuddling, positive physical contact, which is something we've not had this past year too much of. It can help relieve oxytocin and lower cortisol. I can't even say that word, but you guys know what I'm talking about, the cortisol. It can this is what helps to lower your blood pressure and heart rate, which are both symptoms of stress. So stress is the number one cause of, I believe it's what causes heart disease. It causes heart attacks. It causes your blood pressure to rise up. And thankfully now I'm getting mine under control, but it wasn't too long ago that my blood pressure was shot way up. And I noticed a big difference, because it goes with, being able to program your mind into positive thinking. Because if you're thinking positive about things, and you're learning, and I've been learning, doing these mind exercises, how to, I don't know, it's weird. It's hard to explain it, but it does help to relieve stress. And stress, it will make you sick. It will make you physically sick. So you have to just, if you can do even a few of these steps a little bit at a time, you're gonna notice a big difference, I think. Also, listen to soothing music, or nature sounds, anything that's calming. What I do is I listen to, I don't know how many of you guys have heard of this, but it's called ASMR. And I listen to that and it knocks me right out. But if you guys want to check it out, it's on YouTube, it's ASMR. And it's just there's all different kinds of different ASMR channels where they, some of them will it's like soothing voice, or soothing, nature background, or the sound of a fireplace, the crackling, or the crackling of a candle. Anything like that is going to take your mind off things and just relax you and make you less stressed out. Also, deep breathing. Mental stress activates your sympathetic, or let's see, because I can read my own writing. Okay, mental stress activates your nervous system, signaling your body to go into fight or flight. During this reaction, stress hormones are released and you experience physical symptoms such as a faster heartbeat, quicker breathing. Deep breathing exercises can help activate this part of your nervous system, which controls the relaxation responses. So even here on YouTube, they have channels that will help you with the deep breathing, and even ASMR channels, they have deep breathing, like teaching you how to do that. And that's very helpful. And the last one I have is, and believe me, okay, I used to be just like this. I used to be like I would never allow my kids to ever have a pet. And now that they're older, now I have 2 cats. And I always thought that, and they tricked me into getting those too, or else I wouldn't have them. But now that I have them, I love them. But I never had a pet growing up, and I just always thought that if you have a pet in your house, that your house is just like going to be nasty. And I think that was I was like a clean freak. So I had this thing about where I couldn't have a pet in the house ever. So after getting the pets like that, I'm telling you, I just love them. Like, I don't know. If you don't have a pet, get one. A dog or a cat. And I always thought that it would be a dog that I would get, before a cat. But like I said, I was tricked into getting them. So, yeah. So with that being said, stress and anxiety may arise in your workplace and personal life. There are many simple ways to reduce the pressure you feel. So I'm hoping that if you guys try out these tips and tricks, that they might work for you. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I just wanted to, because, I was thinking about that earlier, and I thought, a lot of us have been through so much this past year, and we've all suffered from some kind of stress and anxiety. We know how many of us have lost jobs, less income, being closed up. But believe me, I think that if you see the blessing in it, then you won't think of the bad. And I think the blessing in all of it is that God needed you to have that time to come to Him, because, as you know, I think that we're getting into that time now where God really needed you to have that time, because I think the door to coming to Him, being able to come to Him, is going to be cut off shortly. And He gave everybody that time. And it was not just a country. It wasn't just cities. It was the whole world that was affected. So that took, I believe that God intervened, and because he wanted you to know that you have that's your time. He wants you to use this time, and you still have some time. But I believe the doors of coming to Him he's gonna give everyone over to into their sins if they don't have used that time wisely. So I think we just don't have to see that as a bad thing, what has happened to us over this past year, and try to see the positive in it. And I know over this past year, personally, I've had to turn to the Bible more and more and more. And it's been a blessing for me because it drew me closer to God, and it made me think, it made me thankful. It made me thankful to God that he shut me up for a little while and made me come to him. Although I was already a believer and stuff, but like I was saying, with life, it keeps you so busy that you don't have time to think about him. And he needed you to think about him over this past year. And he wanted you to think about some things. So that's what I believe, and that's what I think. So I don't know. All right. Space. I have many scriptures. Yes, I do. I have so many. Let's see. So I guess that is all I have for you guys today, or for now, because you never know what's going to happen. But I will be back on here later, probably with another video. Until then, you guys stay safe. God bless you, and have a good evening.